friends. Welcome to another episode of the Say It Loud podcast. I'm your host, Matt Jones, and this week we have DeSilva of the Banisters. The Banisters are one of those bands that Fair City Fire have played with before a couple of times, but we finally get to have somebody in the podcast studio, and Chris was awesome. They've been together for a couple of years. They're actually celebrating their second year band anniversary at 1-to-1 Bar on February 22nd, so go check that out. They're on Spotify. They have a unique and fun sound. It was good to get to learn how they formed. Chris is a middle school teacher, he and Dean, and they started a band as middle school teachers. So we were happy to get to know him and learn about his photosynthesis song, and we learned how you remember shower songs or shower riffs. And for the Say It Loud podcast, this is our 30th episode. We're pretty psyched about that. We're in our crazy 30s now. We're going to get mimosas at brunch and go make irresponsible purchases at Target. That's what you do in your 30s, right? That's what I do. Enjoy the show. Thanks for listening.
Snowpocalypse.
We're getting snowmageddon.
Someone posted we're getting like a foot and a half of snow, and it's not at all true.
Chris.
Definitely not true. Hey, hello.
Dusty.
Hey, definitely not getting a foot of snow. Hello.
But we could.
Hey.
Cool. I like it. Dude, this is going to be good. I can feel it.
Matt likes it.
I can feel it. Calling in the air tonight. All right. Are we ready?
Let's do it.
Look alive.
And, here we go.
Have fun. Smile. Everybody smile.
Smile for the microphone.
You can hear it.
All right, welcome to the Say It Loud podcast. This is our 30th episode, actually. Did you guys know that?
Ooh,
Nice.
Yay.
30th
Yeah.
anniversary.
All right.
What a thing.
Yeah. We made it 30 times, and we're here with our guest today, DeSilva of the Banisters.
Hey, how's it going?
Welcome. I've got Brett, we've got Brian, we've got Clint, and I'm Matt. And thank you for tuning in. I know you guys, Fair City Fire and the Banisters, you've had 2 shows together so far. But this is like, these are one of my favorite podcasts where you actually get to know somebody, even though you've already played together. Sometimes we do it where we do the podcast and then you play together. This is the reverse, but, you know, it feels just as special.
It does. I feel like, we got to know each other a little bit on that stage,
I know. Is it better to know somebody through their music or through, does the music better inform, who the person is, or the opposite? I wonder sometimes.
It's a great question. I don't have the answer.
Yeah, that is a great question.
That was the only question I had. Is
that it? Are we
Great
done
podcast.
here? Yeah.
Happy 30th.
I feel like it's kind of the opposite sometimes, just because it's hard to get the energy of a music, out of connection with that person. But I guess most people probably play music that's pretty reflective of that. But if it's not, I don't think you can get past it affecting your perception of a person.
Oh, I guess in a good way or a bad way, huh?
Yeah, in a good way or a bad way.
Yeah. Or I guess
if you really like a band, it's probably hard to think that person's a tool bag after you really like the band.
Yeah.
Good point.
But
if you really hate a band, it's probably hard to like that like Nickelback, man. One of those members walks in right now, they could just be cool dudes. I don't know anything about them individually. I just know the music sucks. So.
Damn, dude, that's a shot to Nickelback.
Yeah. Hopefully Nickelback's not listening.
Man.
They're
going to ask us to open
I'm
for
sure
them.
they make plenty of money off of that. They don't really care what anyone says, but
Free advertising.
yeah.
Great. They have the best marketing.
Haters keeps their career
in the
alive,
world.
right?
Yeah.
So on that note, do you think that the music you play reflects you as an individual?
Oh, man, I don't know. It's kind of all over the place.
Does it reflect your personality, your energy?
Yeah, sure, man. Some of it does. Definitely when I'm singing, I feel like Dean holds it down in terms of he's the shredder. He's who you come out to see for sure if you want to be entertained. But I think for definitely it is interesting. That was an interesting question, and I think it is cool to kind of see somebody out there kind of just going for it, like you guys tend to. And then getting the chance to hang afterwards and not try and shout in each other's ear over it like we did at the Sidewinder, trying to be like, hey, what are you guys working on next? Like, what?
Yeah.
It sounds cool. All right. you know.
The shows get a little
loud. Yeah.
Well, just so if people are listening to this, haven't heard the Banisters, I've seen you a couple times. You've been together since 2015. You're now, I would say, it seems like a full force band at this point, right?
Yeah, we're getting there.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of like your, oh shit, drop my phone.
Oh my God.
In terms of your,
it's close.
in terms of your personnel, anyway.
Yeah, for sure. We're experimenting with a few things here and there, but the core is definitely locked in.
And so I think it's pretty interesting. In 2 years, you started in 2015, then in 2016, 2017, you released an EP in each year, which is, I think, pretty ambitious, in 2 years to put out that many tracks. I think it was like 4 and then 6
Yeah,
or 10
right.
songs in 2 years.
Yeah.
Do you think, are those reflective of where you were at each point in those years? I mean, do you feel like they represent you still to this day?
Yeah, it's interesting. We talk about that, and I think especially with the first one, it was just kind of, we need to get some music out there, trying to book gigs and just kind of get something going. Right now, we're working on actually getting together some tracks for our first full length, and it's a really interesting process because now we're starting to kind of hone in on like what our sound is, and the writing process is a little bit different now. So it's like we've got 3 people that write songs. We'll bring them to practice. Hey, here's an idea, and then it just kind of evolves once everybody kind of gets in on it with instruments and backing vocals and whatever else. But I think now we're at a point where it is getting to be like a little bit less of like, oh, here's a song that I had maybe like kind of thought about before we were a band, and now I'm going to bring it to the band and try and make it like kind of force it into a Banisters song. Whereas now we're kind of, they're kind of rounding themselves out, and we're kind of getting a better feel for each other and what each of us brings to the table. So it's getting fun.
I still like though that you still made 2 EPs though. Like that's a different way to do it. There's some bands that like, oh, we're not gonna release something until we know who we are, or totally have our sound. But you guys seem to just be releasing it as you're coming up with it. Was that intentional, or is it just whenever you feel it's right?
The second EP that we released, I was just kind of trying my hand at the whole production thing, and so there's definitely, I mean, if you listen to them side by side, there's definitely a significant difference in terms of quality. But we were trying to, just get some more stuff out there, similar to the first EP, just kind of give people more of an idea of like what we sound like. And I mean, I think the end goal for both of those was just like trying to book gigs and give venues a better idea of like, okay, this is what you're gonna get, and then kind of
so I can't tell if you meant, because the second EP, Piñan Vista, my Spanish isn't very good, but to me, I actually wrote down in my note, I thought it was actually really well produced. So I don't know if you were trying to sandbag yourself there. In terms of what you're,
I appreciate the compliment, man. But yeah,
sandbagging son of a bitch.
But and for people that haven't heard you, I mean, this is my interpretation. You should go on and I think it's thebanistersmusic.com, or you're on Spotify, both the album, both the EPs. But to me, it was like this weird. I kept coming up with different partnerships, because whenever people ask you, you got to come up with what's my sound. But to me, it was this, this balance of kind of like maybe The Who with some Springsteen, and then maybe a little like Sex Pistols edge or something like that, and then
Dude, Talking Heads,
yeah,
Talking Heads,
a little bit of
yes.
Killers
Yeah.
or something. I mean, there's a lot of different sound profiles, but I was digging it, and so I enjoyed the second EP for sure.
Thanks, man.
And you, I mean, I guess we'll go back quickly just to the history. So 2015, you and your buddy Dean formed really just a duo, right, to start?
Yeah, so we went into it knowing that we wanted to form a band, and then quickly after we met Nicole, our keyboard player, and the 3 of us, we're the ones that'll write the songs. So we kind of formed our little songwriting core and kind of developed some things on 2 guitars and keys, and then our first drummer, Grace, joined in the winter of that year, And we rounded it off with bass in like January, and then we played our first show like a month later. So we transitioned. So Grace had to move out east after she was doing grad school at UT, and so we met Ian, our new drummer, who grew up drumming and then apparently hadn't played for like several years. And I guess our first show back in July last summer was his like first gig ever, like with a band. So it's been really cool. Like our sound has changed a little bit, and like it's been cool to see him evolve as a drummer and like us evolve as a band, like kind of through him too. So
do you guys, I mean, do you still feel like you're in infancy as a band?
I was thinking about this the other day, man. So like we've got our 2-year anniversary coming up, and I feel like that's kind of where we're at. 1-to-1 bar. Yeah, that's right. February 22nd. Yeah, that's nice. Done your homework, man. Yeah. And I was like, it's almost like we are, a 2-year-old kid, man. Like, so we've gotten to the point where, we know how to breathe, we know how to crawl, we know how to eat. And now we're starting to like form words and sentences and that sort of thing. And, yeah, so we're getting there.
Ready for the terrible twos?
Yeah, that's right.
Just wreaking havoc, testing the limits.
Oh yeah,
pushing your boundaries.
Is it where you would have wanted it to be at this point?
I've had too many times where I'm just like sitting there banging my head against the wall, and it's like, oh, we're not making enough progress, or we need to be here or there. And we've had conversations about that as a band, and I feel like we've gotten more on the same page of like, let's put in the time, let's have fun with it. And I think that's starting to show a lot more, like in terms of the process and in terms of the product that we're starting to put out more consistently.
And to put it into context, you and Dean met as middle school teachers, right? So it's not like music wasn't your first gig necessarily at that time. How did you guys like meet up? Were you in like the teacher's lounge stealing somebody's hard-boiled eggs or something, and you're like,
yeah, man, so
shared some music over that?
He started, so he was teaching out in Hawaii, and he came into our school. And it's funny, like we obviously have summer break, so every time coming back from summer break, there'd always be, a couple new teachers, and one of the first like conversations I would try to always have with them is like around music, like, oh, do you play an instrument or whatever? And so there are a few times like here and there, like I jammed with a guy that like played cello, and then, there was like, a few like woodwinds or things like that here and there. But I feel like Dean and I had both like kind of set about our own individual paths with the same mentality of like, we're really looking for somebody to link up with and start a band, and we just were in the right place at the right time. So
I mean, that can't happen a lot. I mean, just in general jobs, but teaching, especially. I mean, you have the summers, but how do you even find time? Because you're currently an active teacher, right?
That's
you
right.
and Dean both are.
Yeah.
So what do you teach?
I just transitioned. I'm doing special education in middle school now.
Okay, and he's a music teacher. I think you told me earlier. Okay, so you lead jobs where you don't have too much off time during the day.
Sure.
And I'm sure there's days where you have to stay longer, or at least your mind is still on work. So how do you, how do you find somebody in the school to be like, let's just start a band? Let's not think about these kids, we'll get our money, but let's really focus on the music.
How are you not neglecting the children is the question.
One of the best pieces of wisdom that I picked up over the years from like some of the best teachers is you have to find ways to disconnect from work, and you have to find things that are going to keep you going that are not teaching. Because if you're coming to the classroom and you're just like beating yourself to death every day, and then going home and like continuing to work and continuing to obsess over like every little detail, then you're coming back the next day to the kids as like a worn down, beaten down version of yourself that is ultimately going to make you less effective at your job. And so like, yeah, of course, like experience helps. You know, this is my 7th year in the classroom, and so like I found ways to become more efficient and things like that along the way. But like really it's just, I think Dean and I both have that same mentality of like, and it helps that he teaches music, right? So like he gets to play guitar all day with the kids. But you know, I think, like I said, we have the same mentality of like we want to kind of keep doing what we're passionate about and make sure that that's a priority just as much as being an effective teacher.
Does being in a band keep you from doing like the extracurricular activity things?
To some extent, yeah. Yeah, we've got
to coach the wrestling team or anything like that.
Yeah, we've got an extended school day as it is, so it does make it a little trickier to dive into all that stuff.
But I've just learned that tomorrow you don't have school.
That's right, man. The timing of this podcast could not have been any better.
So right now we're in the midst of the Austin Freeze coming up. Actually, the last time you guys played together, there was kind of a little winter freeze going on as well during Free Week, and that was at Sidewinder. It was a cold night. I had to bust out my double-layer North Face just to get inside. Yeah,
it was an impressive turnout for such a terrifyingly cold night.
Yeah. So being a part of Free Week, I kind of I don't think we ever talked about that, but for you guys, I mean, both bands, like, what does it mean to be a part of that? And then what do you think it means, like, as artists being in town? Because by and large, I mean, it's just really locals playing Red River area so people can come out and see you. And I would say, like, hundreds of people brave the cold every night. I mean, whenever I went out to see that, there was so many people out there. It was pretty incredible.
Free Week's really cool. It's a really unique idea, and it's, you know, it was designed because that week is typically one of the slowest weeks in the bar world all year long. So all these venues got together and said, hey, like, let's do something to kind of combat that. And so they basically put together all these shows and gave people a place to go for free, and people love free. And so it's pretty cool. Like, I remember, you know, the first time I went, I got to see a lot of cool original Austin bands and found some bands I really like and still listen to and stuff. And so it was cool to be a part of that, you know, especially like a Sidewinder is a cool spot. People like going there and stuff. And it's good to see, you know, Fair City Fire on that poster of like 5 million bands.
Yeah, I think you guys are on the same line.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's
Nomad
cool.
City was on there, and somebody else that we're friends with. Who else was on?
Cover Letter.
Cover Letter, yeah.
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 Yeah. Hey, you know.
Take it, man.
Hey,
It's all right. We weren't at the bottom line.
Yeah, there's some 10-point on there. Sure.
Yeah.
And I guess I didn't explain it well enough, but yeah, during Free Week, you know, for us it's obvious, but those big music venues on Red River have no cover. So it's a good way to go for me, you know, to see bands I haven't seen in a while as well.
Yeah.
You know, because every night you can just go out there.
We'll try before you buy.
Venue. Yeah. Make
Taste.
sure everybody's still doing well. But you had a good crowd. The Sidewinder, I think, for both you guys.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you see that as a big show? I mean, is it just looking at the crowd and saying, "Oh, there's new people here. Let's play our best," or did you have a good feeling about it in general, like just being pumped up about Free Week?
Yeah, I think that's kind of what, as for the musician side, that's kind of what you're hoping for, just to walk in and play to a crowded room. We did that at Empire. Was that last year we did, or was that 2 years ago? Free Week. Either way, it's just getting in a room, and since it's free, people are like, "Shit, yeah, we'll go." And so you're playing to a packed room when normally you probably wouldn't be. Yeah. So that's always a good
I think it would be especially beneficial now because a lot of people these days, like, you kind of got to cross their path more than once, maybe a few times before they really, like, remember you, no matter who you are these days, it kind of seems. So, and Free Week is something that so many people go to, you know, there's a good chance that a few of those people in the crowd randomly saw us somewhere else and went out for Free Week, and then, like, that makes us look like a bigger deal, I guess.
And I guess the
If
good
they
thing
randomly
is,
stumble across us on an event like that.
like they're out intentionally to watch and listen to music. You know, it's not like you're not at their bar.
Yeah,
accidentally.
And then a lot of people just come
Yeah.
out to obviously
Oh, fuck, there's
specifically
music
see bands.
tonight?
Yeah.
Let's go.
But a lot of them are just hopping around.
Right. But I saw, you know, it's good. For me, it's fun as an audience member. I mean, knowing you guys are watching bands that I know. I always do the search around the room to see like who's digging it. You know, I like to see like whatever quote unquote just strangers digging new music. You know, it's fun for me to watch people appreciate art and creativity and new music, and I saw a lot of that that night. And hopefully it works out for you guys. I mean, it's funny because last podcast, Clint, I think you were saying it can be difficult for people to transition from being in the moment and digging it to actually, whether it's following you on Facebook or buying a T-shirt or something or an album. But
crossing that barrier.
Yeah. Did you guys get anybody coming up after the show for the Banisters? I mean, I think that Sidewinder show, you probably had a good crowd out there for you.
Yeah, good handful, man. Yeah, it's always fun when people come up afterwards and I was like, oh yeah, like I really dug that song, or like, you know, it's really fun watching you guys. Like, you know, when's your next show, or you know, y'all should like check out this venue and go play here, or you know, stuff like that. I mean, it helps when, that was the coolest lineup we've probably played with to date. I mean, all the bands fucking killed.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just like a lot of fun to like not only play to a packed house, but like be in that environment where all the bands are super solid, and like it's fun for me to see like, you know, new music, you know. So
it's nice when a night kind of clicks like that, and you know everybody brings it and stuff. I felt like that was the case, you know. That first band, Ex Romantica,
dude, they're rad.
They were great. Yeah. They got everybody dancing. Everybody was ready
dancing.
to go. Yeah. I was too, man. I couldn't help it.
Clint's doesn't say anything, just kind of back and forth, stares at you really weird.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
They're good moves.
How'd you figure my dance
They're
out
good
so
moves, yeah.
quickly? I thought it was more difficult to decipher.
It's usually when you're feeling good after a few lonies or
Gotta be in the right spot.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, how do you feel?
Right combination of things.
Yeah. So, Chris, how do you feel on a bill like that? Like, let's say, well, obviously, I wonder if it's different. So, on a great bill, you know, it's fun because you know people will stay, or there's some good people there, or I mean, a good crowd, and you probably get pumped up. But I always wonder, like, if you're playing with somebody, because it happens. You know, there must be bills where somebody's playing before you, and they maybe don't have the chops or the songs or something. Or versus a bill where you're playing and there's clearly a tight band with, you know, definitely has the songs. Do you get more pumped up for one or the other? Like if somebody's not playing well, it's like, we're gonna get up there and just destroy. Like, or is it like, or do you get more? or do you get? I'm wondering, like
intimidated or motivated.
Yeah.
Like, does it
Depending,
matter or does it
they're
help?
good.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, it's always nice to see another band up there killing it, and then like also to know that like we're part of a bill that's got another killer band or like a few other like really solid bands. It's like, okay, well, we must be doing something all right. I think like I do tend to, just speaking personally, like get a little like sinking feeling when, you know, maybe the crowd's not as into it for the band that's, you know, coming on right before us, and you know, start seeing people leaving. But I think once you're up there, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but for me, like once I'm up there, it like, yeah, I would love to play in front of like hundreds of people, but when I'm in the middle of a song, like it doesn't usually matter. I'm just kind of going for it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, I mean, what about you guys? I always, from what I gather from you guys in the past, I think you guys like the energy of really good bands playing before you.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's a certain competitive edge that switches on when you see somebody tear it up too. Because obviously, you know, it's, you know, you watch somebody tear it up and the crowd gets into it, and there's like an energy from that you get. But like, there's also like we could do that shit too, you know?
Yeah.
You know. And it's like you want to hold your own when there's a band like that tearing it up. So it's like it's that's motivating in itself for sure.
I don't think it's like malicious. It's kind of flattering, kind of more like you're like, oh look the response they're getting. I could get up there and do that and get that response.
Yeah.
Kind of it's like envy almost.
Yeah, it's
the same way it's jealousy.
Up. Yeah, it amps me up too for sure. See, especially more so than a shit band, because it usually kind of drives the. If a band's up there and they're not doing really well, it kind of kills the energy in the room, and
I think
you're like starting fresh.
It could have like the bad band effect, like you were talking about, but I think it kind of backfires because you're almost kind of like, especially if there's a good crowd, and you feel like the band before you is really tanking, you get kind of anxious because you want to get up there and like kind of save the night at that point. And so like as much as that gets you excited to be on the stage in that scenario, like. Still, like it's for the wrong reasons, so you probably won't play as well. Yeah. You'll screw it up yourself and then be like, damn it.
Yeah.
We're the bad band. Damn it, I thought, we all suck. Ah.
Yeah, to me, it seems like it would have this almost like WrestleMania quality where it's like each match goes out and it's like you're all on the same bill and you want it to do well. But when that one match gets like tons of energy, you're like, all right, we got to bring it. Like, we gotta, we need to bring a ladder out or something like that.
Yeah.
Bring the chairs out.
Cage match.
Yeah, bust it all out, yeah. So that's, I would think, like, it's, you'd want to be part of, like, the best bill possible.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Obviously. I mean, it seems obvious when I say it now after hearing all this. I should have said that instead of asking the question. So how many shows, get back, with the teaching schedules and, you remember a 5-member band, are you able to put together enough shows, do you think, to your liking, to where you're progressing?
Yeah, I think we're doing all right. I think we're, settling into a good practice routine now too, where we're able to meet more consistently and kind of like dedicate first practice of the week, like let's experiment with some new stuff. And then second practice, it's like, all right, let's run through the set like once or twice, In terms of shows, I feel like we're getting a decent number. We're trying to piece some things together for the summer when we're a little bit more free and can get a string of like, a couple weekends, maybe doing some, more regional stuff and getting out of Austin a little bit. But, for now, I think we're content with where we're at, and it's always nice to play more shows, but you don't want to like keep on asking the same like group of friends like, hey, I know you just came to see us like a week ago, do you want to come back out again? So
that's why it's nice to play places like Blackheart or
for sure,
the free week gig.
Yeah, definitely,
because then you don't have to worry about those sort of things.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's something we've talked about doing, is just jumping on bills a lot more here in the future, kind of for that reason. Not that we wouldn't promote, but if you jump on a bill, if people ask you to be on a bill, there's less pressure.
Sure, for sure. Yeah.
And then you get in front of their crowd too, which is nice.
Yeah, that's always helpful.
New eyes.
So what do you say, what are the goals for you in terms of the band? So it sounds like every week you practice at least twice, is that what you're saying?
Usually, yeah.
So you're putting the time in.
Mm-hmm.
And so do you have...
Red Rocks, man.
Yeah.
That's it.
All those kinds of things.
Red Rocks headlining.
Right.
That would be the dream. I don't know, man. It's just it'd be nice to, make a decent name for ourselves here in Austin, and be able to pitch bills in in different cities, and not have too hard a time filling venues up, just playing in front of energetic crowds and giving people a good time. Because when everybody else is having a good time, then it's super fun for us. You guys know when the crowd's out there dancing and rocking out, like there's not a better feeling.
Yeah, that makes all the difference for sure.
And it's always every musician's or artist's goal to do their art for money and to give up the day job. And for you, you have a pretty serious job in the day. Even in the short term, is that something you could even consider right now, where you really want this band to pick up enough where you could do music full time?
Yeah, that'd be awesome, man. I'd probably have to run it by my wife first, but I think, Yeah, I mean, I don't have any, I think you said delusions of grandeur earlier. I mean, I know we're not going to be the Foo Fighters making millions of dollars and, playing stadiums and all that kind of stuff. But sure, man, being able to support myself and support a family and kind of do what I love, getting paid to do that. Yeah, hell yeah, man. Who wouldn't want that? That'd be awesome. But, I think we're at a point now where we can kind of. I think this is going to be a milestone year for us, or a mile marker year for us, I should say. I think we're in a really good spot to kind of make a good dent, and by the end of the year we'll have a better grasp of what's realistic for us.
You mean that creatively, or are you going to do another EP this year?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So the plan is, so we're recording a single here in a couple weeks, and then we're gonna be working on our first full length that we want to release later this year. And so I think, like I said, the writing process has kind of changed a little bit for us, and I think we're now at a point where we are starting to make Banisters songs. And so I think with that, we'll have a better sense of identity and can kind of move forward accordingly.
Are you hoping to win the middle school talent show this year?
Dude, I got that unlocked, man. You know.
That'd be great if they had a teacher's version of the talent show for that.
It'd be like the staff versus kids basketball game, just swatting everybody down.
Have any of you guys ever been in a talent show in school or anything like that?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh really, Brian?
Well, okay, so there's a couple things to this story. In elementary schould I did a little stand-up comedy. Yeah, at the talent show.
What'd you do? Give us.
I believe I did the age-old. I just flew in from Boston, and boy, are my arms tired. I think that's how I started it. I'm pretty sure, but I don't remember much else from it. But another part of it is that
there's not by chance any footage of this floating around anywhere, is there?
There's gotta be.
There's gotta be. Oh,
Mama Wolf,
man.
She's got it.
There's just several
Filed
VHS
away.
tapes at my parents' house of just embarrassing things.
New goal when
from
we're
my
on
childhood.
tour. Track down Brian's stand-up.
But the other part of that is my high school had a talent show that you had to try out for, and they would let 2 bands in every year because they didn't want it to be all bands. They wanted it to be a variety show kind of thing. So there'd be somebody juggling, somebody doing a dance thing, and then 2 bands.
And then something everybody actually liked.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna juggle and then get beat up.
But yeah, so sadly, I tried out all 4 years of high school to get into this talent show and did not make it in.
You always did music every year?
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't going to do stand-up comedy again. I had enough of that when I was 7.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I feel this. I'm just constantly in my life trying to make the high school talent show. That's my struggle every day. So
I did 8th grade talent show. I did magic. I did some David Copperfield illusions.
Did it work out?
It was great because I tried out to the committee, but with an idea of what it was going to be. I was like, I heard technology 10th grade will make our props if we need them. So here's my idea. And it's basically just a standard stage illusion. And I brought my little sister on to do it. It's basically this thing where there's a box on stage, and I open it, and it's empty, and then I shut it again, and I open it, and she's in there. And it worked great, unless you were at more than a 90-degree angle from the center of the box, because then if you're on the side of the auditorium, you could totally see her standing there. But we did that during school, and then for the adults at night. And I just remember during school after I did it, getting the attention I wanted, but it wasn't right, the right kind of attention. Yeah. Magic does not get you laid in 8th grade. Basically, is what I'm saying. Yeah. Yeah.
What does get you?
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't we ask the middle
Cigarettes.
school teacher? Yeah.
That's a dangerous question.
Yeah. But yeah, no. So I was never a winner of talent
Get
show.
off that.
Yeah, I never got on the talent show circuit. I got roped into choir in middle school though. That's how I got my musical start. Man, I did I did some musicals. We did a musical review in 8th grade. So did a little Fiddler on the Roof, some Guys and Dolls. So
Yeah, that's when you started your vocal career.
that's right.
You weren't playing any guitar back then, or
No, man, not
No.
until high school. I didn't really seriously start playing until like late college, actually. So,
No kidding.
Yeah.
Wow. So it can happen to anybody. You don't have to start that early.
So it's been how long now? Like 7, 8 years you've been playing?
A little longer than that. I graduated college in 2009. So,
Me too. Me too.
yeah, whatever math we got going on there. Listeners can calculate at home.
Younger than me, that's for sure.
But yeah,
I calculated at home.
Tell us more.
Going back to the middle school and getting laid. Well, I gotta know because
Terrible segue for a teacher.
Yeah.
What I want to know is like,
Phrasing.
I don't like the sound of that.
have you ever had to like break somebody up in the hallway for like holding hands, or like what's the rules? now
Oh
for
man,
middle
our
school?
school is very. We've got a lot of. This is unfortunately not going to be very juicy for the podcast. We've got a lot of structures and routines in place where the kids are like they're not going to do that. Like if two kids like kiss like behind a bus, like that's a huge deal.
Oh, yeah,
Shock
that's
collar.
right.
Yeah. So
But I mean, so somebody there has to deal, like some assistant principal has to deal with like any kids trying to make out or something like that.
yeah, essentially. I mean, they'll get like deductions on our behavior system, and usually they have to call their parents, and it's
Oh, you'd have to call.
Man,
your
that's
parent?
brutal.
Yeah.
That's brutal 8th grade.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Dad, I just got caught making out with somebody.
All right, son.
That
kissed
never
a-
happened to
That's
me.
my
I kissed
boy.
a girl in kindergarten gym class. I got yelled at.
Damn.
Oh,
Wow,
really?
dude.
Moved. Then I went backwards. That was like my social
What
butterfly stage, kindergarten, just right back into the shell until like now.
Did she reciprocate?
So I can't remember what happened at the exact time. Like it wasn't bad. It wasn't.
It
good.
sounds like a Kevin
It was
Spacey
like
story.
it was a neutral response, and then we had
Oh man.
we had a
man.
we had a skating rink party. You know what that is? Roller rink.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
And there was a girls only dance, and I was skating with my mom, and the same girl was skating from the other direction and like grabbed me away from my mom. So in the end, it panned out.
Yeah.
I think that was it. That one magical skating night, and I didn't see
Your
her.
mom let you go. Spread your wings.
I don't think she had a choice. It was like forcibly removed or something. Ripped from the nest.
I remember in 6th grade, middle school, sending a folded up letter to one Janice T. I won't give her a last name because I'm sure she's listening. But it's like one of those things where I just like, stared at her in math class all the time. And I think she looked at me a couple times. I was like, we both like each other, clearly. I sent her a note,
Time
and
for some magic.
and my
Yeah.
and I just gave her a note, and one day, like, my sister came running out with a response note, and it said yes. To what? I don't know. We never hung out. I don't even know what it was. We danced to Boyz II Men's "I'll Make Love to You."
Oh yeah.
Damn.
At the
That's
dance.
sexy.
Jams.
We were a
Yeah.
couple feet apart.
That's a magical story.
That's-
there.
Dude, that's a
Yeah.
That's
a
hot.
slow jam
Yeah.
right there.
I was way too oblivious in high school to pull that off.
In high school?
I need, all through.
Wow,
It's
yeah.
middle school, high school, elementary. I mean, I needed like quadruple confirmation that a girl liked me. Like looking at me would have been like just barely scratching the surface. I'd be like, she's not looking at me. She's looking over there. And then, like she talked to me. I'd be like, she just wants information. She
She just wants all my information.
Yeah.
Do they
She's just trying to
still
get info.
do they still make the students wear incredibly short shorts during gym, like awkwardly short.
Nah, man, our kids don't change for PE. They
They
just
sweat
rock
through it,
their
yeah.
they just rock their khakis
Really?
and polos all
Man,
day.
we had a.
Is it
Did you
like
guys have a
laid-back
uniform?
PE?
Like,
no
like-
running
You
miles
just
or
had to
anything?
change into
No,
other
man,
clothes,
it's
so.
the coaches make them go, man.
Oh man,
They do a great job.
man, we had a school like during gym class, a school uniform in middle school, and there was
Yeah,
like these
same.
polyester, like
Oh yeah, game time shorts.
high thigh,
Yeah.
like itchy
for gym
and-
class.
For gym class,
You had,
yeah.
like uniforms.
like
Oh, yeah.
softy shorts.
They weren't soft. They were like scratchy, like polyester.
No,
Like,
I think that was the
80s.
brand. The brand Softy. You
oh,
remember
maybe
those?
I can't remember the brand. No,
Uh,
yeah. And you'd like it'd have a space on there where you could write in Sharpie your name on there, and then like a gray T-shirt that was way too big for any student that was wearing it, but the smallest shorts ever. And they'd make you tuck the shirt in
All right,
to the red polyester shorts. Yeah, it was terrible.
that sounds
Yeah,
Actually,
magical. Can we wear that on stage next show?
I don't know.
I think it would
Track
really
those
sell
down.
us. We should just wear like a different ridiculous outfit every night on tour. Just throwing it out there.
Or the same outfit every night on tour.
The same
Same.
ridiculous outfit.
Yeah.
So yeah, you guys are Fair City Fire planning the tour this year.
Mm.
Yes.
Yes. Banisters. I know you said you're working on doing some regional stuff. I guess a tour would have to be during the summer, right? Have you even considered that?
Yeah. I mean, our version of a tour, I suppose, would be like consecutive weekends at this point. You know.
Okay.
So.
Good thing about Texas, there's a lot of big cities to go to that aren't
Yeah,
too far.
sure.
So, have you played in Houston, Dallas, or?
Yeah, we've
Or San Antonio?
done Houston, Dallas, Fort Worth, and San Antonio.
Cool.
Nice. Whereabouts in Dallas?
Dallas, we did what was it? We did we did Tuda's Pizza, and we did was it there's a club that's like split. It's like the Door, and then it's like they're like two back to back. It's kind of like how Barbarella and what's it called is and Swan Dive are like connected.
Is the
People
Door
always
the
think-
name of one of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Is that whereabouts in Dallas? Is that
It's near. I think it's on like the very edge of Deep Ellum.
okay?
And then Fort Worth was cool. We played like right behind this brewery, Division Brewing up there. Their scene is starting to pick up a little bit more.
That's
It
great.
seems so. Yeah. Have you guys heard of Svenny Baby?
I don't think so.
They're from up there. We've played a few shows like here and up there with them. So they
Like SVENNY.
an exclamation point at the end.
Okay.
They're a lot of fun, man.
So yeah,
That sounds fun.
Wait, what?
It sounded like you knew. We just spelled
Spenny?
it.
Oh
I think you were just bragging about spelling.
no! I just
Yeah,
was
enjoy that.
Wondering if that's how it was spelled. I thought that's how it was spelled.
Yeah, you crushed it, man.
Yeah. You passed this class.
I studied in
Yeah.
Sweden, so
Do you ever bring your guitar to school?
No,
Okay.
not
Right
recently.
outside.
I did actually. I used to teach science, and I did like a photosynthesis song one year, and then I didn't ever do that again.
Can you just give us a beat of it?
Oh, it was like, damn, how did it go? It was like to the tune of like a nursery rhyme sort of thing. Man, I don't remember. You're putting me on the spot, man. Sorry, I'm
Oh, yeah,
totally
I know.
drawing a blank.
Like, did you rhyme photosynthesis?
No, I did like some sort of like. I remember that I ended with like C6H12O6 plant food.
Plant food.
Oh, it was if you're happy and you know it.
Yeah.
That's how it was.
That's great.
clap your
It
hands.
was all right. It wasn't a huge hit, as it it didn't go off as well as I had planned it when I was like in the shower or something.
I would imagine, like, that's probably the hardest thing to get across to kids is that, like, there's probably moments at home you're like, oh, this is going to be great.
This is
I'm
gonna fucking
I'm
kill
reach
tomorrow.
them and just do it, and they just start
Just totally falls flat, man. That's the worst.
I bet that song would crush it with the right drunk bar crowd.
Yeah, yeah. It would.
Yeah.
Probably better.
Just
Yeah,
out of nowhere,
That's a
like
good idea, man.
a hard rock version.
yeah.
Hard rock nursery rhymes.
I feel like you got to be careful with that though, because like if the kids think it's funny or something, they'll probably just keep asking you to do it forever. Like there was this.
Then you gotta sell out.
Again.
Yeah.
It's not about the
Teletubbies.
music anymore.
Yeah. There was like this sub in high school that was like real bashful, kind of awkward guy. And he was like subbing for social studies or something, and he did this like rap about the economy one time. And it was so funny because he was like real nervous about it and delivering it in that way, you know? So it just became a thing. Like anytime he subbed for any class, we were like, let's hear you rap, man. Just like every time. It's like, poor guy. Who doesn't want to hear a bashful substitute teacher rap? That's hilarious.
Hey, Mr. Johnson, do your rap. No. You guys remember that? Yeah.
Mitch Harkavy was his name.
Mitch Harkavy?
Mitch Harkavy.
Oh,
Yeah.
if you're out there, Mr.
Yeah.
Harkavy.
What's up, Mr. Harkavy?
Damn, what a name.
So what do you guys have planned for that second anniversary show? I know you're playing with, I think, Cover Letter again, right?
Yeah,
And
the Cover Letter. We've got another buddy band, Shilava, that's gonna open, and then a band we met actually. Oddly enough, not the first band that we've met through Instagram, called the Docs, and they're out of like College Station in Houston. Chill dudes. Talk to them on the phone, trying to like kind of get everything locked in. But it's gonna be fun, man. We've never played 1-to-1 before, but I've heard really good things. Like a lot of people are like, yeah, it's like the best sound system in the city, and like, you know, the stage is super nice, and they do a great job promoting, and you know, so we're looking forward to it.
I mean, you guys can speak to that.
It's a nice
great
venue.
sound, yeah.
It doesn't
that
have
stage is great.
a heavy built-in crowd, but when
Yeah,
you get
right,
people
right,
to come out to it, like there's not a lot of better rooms as far as like sound and stage. So
Yeah,
it could be
good
a cool
lighting.
place for sure.
They started doing the sound guy will record video. I think he's got three cameras. I don't know if you knew about that or not.
No.
And last time we played, I think it was $100, right?
Yeah, $100. He'll do a video of your whole set with like sound right off the board.
Oh, damn, yeah, that's cool.
Straight out
Yeah.
the board.
Nice. That's a
He'll
cool
cut
setup.
it and piece it together.
Yeah,
right?
sure.
For, like the whole flow, like because he'll have a camera on each side of the stage, and then one kind of in the middle where it gets the whole band too as well.
That's
Doesn't
awesome,
he have
man.
a more deluxe package or something too? What's that include?
Yeah, you can. It goes way up. You know.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. You can.
Hand jobs.
It's not as expensive as you think.
Yeah.
You know.
It costs more to not have him on film. 1-on-1. Yeah.
Over the pants handies.
Yeah.
We love you 1-to-1.
Are you gonna do like any? Is that gonna be your single release too? You think, or are you gonna?
No, we're working on kind of slow burning that one, and you know, we kind of want to get South by solidified, and then you know, we had the free week shows and then a good chunk of time so we can really build up to the 1-to-1 show and promote, and we want to kind of do the same thing after South by. Take some time to start like recording and getting that going, and then hopefully use like, you know, May or June to release the single, and then kind of use that as a platform for promoting the album, you know, and that kind of trying to get a little buzz going, you know.
So yeah, I mean, man, you thinking 10 songs? I mean, is that in the?
I think we're shooting for 9.
9. Yeah.
Right now we've got, we're thinking about possibly like, you know, maybe looking back at the first 2 EPs and seeing if there's like a song or two that we want to redo, if it like fits within the vibe and the theme of everything that we're writing. But yeah,
Is this your second or third South by?
this will be technically it'll be our third. We played one where it was just stripped down, where it was just Dean, Nicole, and I. We played just like 2 acoustics and keys.
Cool. Were you
Our
busy
first
last
South by.
year? Because you said you were trying to get your
Yeah,
schedule solidified.
we had
You
a
got
couple.
plan,
Yeah, no. When
plan
I
of
say
attack
when I
and
say
stuff?
solidified, it's not like, you know, people are chomping at the bit to get the Banisters booked. But we've got a few like, hey, yeah, follow up with us. Like, we'll have a better idea, you know, when it's closer to March and that sort of thing. So just trying to lock a few of those things down.
Yeah, for sure.
When you say you, Dean, and Nicole are the 3 songwriters, primarily? Do you guys, just the three of you, get together and then write a song, or do you work it out, or do you like the three of you bring songs and then work it out with the other
it's
two
usually
guys?
that. So aside from we've got a new song called Sister that Dean and I just after school one day kind of sat down and like I brought an idea, like a guitar idea, and then he heard it and started coming up with some lyrics, and we were kind of going back and forth that way. But aside from that, then it's usually like one of us, kind of at home coming up with a chord progression or some riffs or whatever, and then writing lyrics and then bringing it to the band and be like, hey, here's what I got. And then inevitably, like, everybody else will like come up with a rhythm tweak or like come up with something else that like ends up making it. So we come with like sketches, and then everybody turns them into something better.
So what if Johnny or Ian on bass or drum come in with something on a practice? I mean, do you still entertain that?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we've gotten like, definitely it's like, Ian will just be, fucking around in the drums, and then, a couple weeks later it's like, oh hey, we recorded some idea on my phone, like, and I was just listening through some of those tracks, and I remembered this, like, listen to this and play it again, because now I've got an idea for what could go over that, sort of thing. So a lot of it, like, I mean, that's what it is. Like, a lot of us is just like recording phone clips and then like listening to it. And
I don't know what they did before
Yeah,
technology with that. Like, half of my songs developed from some 30-second phone clip
Yeah.
in the moment.
You just have to remember it, probably, right?
Yeah.
Right, I guess none of us
How
know.
do people? How do people remember? You don't need to remember things these days. That's what Google is for.
Yeah, right.
Google will tell you.
Google the riff I played at 3 a.m.
Google,
last
what
night.
riff did I play at 3 a.m.? Like, you probably look that up now. I don't know. It knows everything.
What do you do if you come up with a riff in the shower and you don't have your guitar on you? Do you just like sing it over and over to yourself?
I have had that happen before. Yeah.
Just like until you're like, hurry up, all right. Stop. All right, I gotta get out.
Because of that reason, I remember the songs that I've written in showers.
I've had a few like
I'm like,
dumbass
yep.
tracks on my phone where it's like me humming something like totally like. All right, I'm gonna remember that now.
Yeah, that's the worst. When you play it back and it's just you humming over some noise in the car or something. You're like, shit, that sounded so much cooler when I was doing
this
it.
is really embarrassing. I hope nobody
Without all
else
the-
hears this.
Without all the
ever.
other stuff in my head.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
Yeah. Or do you ever, even for lyrics or writing lyrics, I would think
I'm pulling up. It's super embarrassing.
you probably put like maybe there might be four words in your message note or whatever your self notes, and it's like whatever, like 2-ton bridge heavy, and it's like, what the fuck does that mean?
Yeah.
And then you knew when you wrote it down, you're like, oh, this is genius. This is so
Always.
important. And then it's like, God, what is
I've
this?
had some late night lyric episodes like that.
That'd be
so insightful.
I wonder if that's even worth doing. Is that worth doing a song someday of like just the forgotten lyrics, put them all together?
Just smashing them up. That's not a bad idea. That's a funny idea, man.
You're a Chicago guy, right?
Yeah, that's right. Suburbs.
Suburbs.
Yeah,
And
super exciting suburbs, man.
how'd you make your way down here? Austin.
The weather is what drew me. But after college, I caught wind of an AmeriCorps program, and they had like different sites all across the country, and they were like, so we liked your initial interview. We can place you at either San Jose, Little Rock, or San Antonio. And I was like, San Jose would probably be super expensive. Little Rock, I can't imagine there's anything to do. So I'm going to do San Antonio. And so did San Antonio for 2 years, and then started teaching up here. And Austin is definitely a better fit. San Antonio you kind of learn to like, but it's nice being up here. I'm actually out in Bastrop now, but the Austin area is definitely a better vibe.
So AmeriCorps, I mean, that's basically doing, service of teaching for a couple of years, right?
Yeah. So my program, AmeriCorps got a bunch of different stuff.
Okay.
You could be like, Conservation Corps. You could be like, working in hospitals, doing all kinds of stuff. Mine was, I tried to do Teach for America, and I didn't have what it took at the time, and so I did AmeriCorps as a mentor and tutor, and I was like working in a school to kind of get a taste of what that would be like and see if I wanted to teach. And so now I'm teaching. So
what did you do for your American?
So I was in a school in Southwest San Antonio, just kind of like following some kids around that were like, identified as needing a little bit of extra support, either like academically or, maybe like they've had more emotional needs or things like that. And then, supporting them in their classes and that kind of stuff. And then we'd run after school activities. And then like, every couple of weeks we do a service project where we'd like, build a playground or, we did like the HEB, Christmas meal, like doing that kind of stuff. So it was a good experience.
Man.
Cool.
Wow,
That's so
life
much
of
more noble
service,
than anything I've ever done. Yeah.
Well, I think I want to try a little bit of a game name to finish off the podcast with.
TM.
TM. So, again, Chris, this is a game that's sweeping the nation. The game name. I want to do this one that I remember from when I used to live in Hawaii, like 13 years ago. We would be in a VW bus going to the beach really hard, just getting stoned as balls and eating sushi. And we would go around in a circle, and we would start at a random letter in the alphabet. And you just keep going, letters in the alphabet, but you would name bands. So, like, you start with an R, whatever. Rammstein. Yeah. No, that's the first R band.
That's your first R. Awesome.
I love that.
Yeah.
Do.
But then you, like Brett would say in
Sublime.
But then if you do like an alliterative band name, the next person has to either say two or do an alliterative one. So like
Of the following letter?
Yes.
Oh.
So like
Slightly stupid.
Yes. Exactly. So then on the T, you'd have to
do a double T.
Do either two T's or you'd have to just come up with two different band names.
Ow. Ow.
My brain hurts.
Two T's.
The Toadies.
Yeah. The Toadies. Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Oh, hey.
You're crushing it over there.
What are you, a teacher or something?
I feel like the T names.
Yeah, no, after the T's, man, that'd be tough. What comes after T?
You don't have to do an alliterative one
Sure,
after,
yeah,
or you just do two separate T names. So instead of doing one band name, you'd have to do two.
Oh, all right, I got you. Cool.
Let's just see how far we can go with this one.
So we either have to do an alliterative band name or two band names.
Well, no. If just pick one band name, we'll just keep going through wherever letter we start. I'm saying if somebody does a double S.
If you have to, okay.
Somebody does a double S or a double letter.
All right,
If you're following them, you have to do either a double letter, one band name, or two different single letter band names.
Then does that keep going?
Oh yeah, let's keep going around.
Out of respect, I think we got to start with the Cranberries.
Cranberry.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Let's do Dio.
Oh, okay.
D. So E. D.
Could it be like Eminem? Would that work?
Eminem works, bro.
Yeah.
You got an easy one for F.
Fair City Fire.
I would have said Foo
man.
Fighters because
Yeah.
it would have been alliterative.
I'm gonna go with.
Yeah, that would have been good. I messed
I'm
up.
gonna go with Godsmack.
Oh, nice.
It's not easy.
Oh yeah, all right, thanks, man. I'll go Hanson. I appreciate that. You bailed me out.
I'll do Iggy Azalea.
That's the only one I can think of.
Juvenile.
Kings of Leon.
L. Oh man. Louis Armstrong. Does it have to be a band or could it be a person?
That
All right.
works.
Cool.
Moon Taxi.
Oh. I believe you.
That's an I. That's not an N.
And let's do No Doubt.
Outcast.
Pearl Jam.
Q. Really? Q. Q.
Yeah, dude.
Some cues out
Queens
there.
Queens of the Stone Age. There we
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Nice. Rolling Stones.
Or just Queen. I guess.
I'll go with the
Just-
Supremes.
Tribe Called Quest.
To use tough.
God.
Oh, come on. Super. Think about it. Two letters. Well, one letter, one number.
Oh, you too. Yeah. That's nice. Cool.
Does verb pipe have a the in front of it?
I'm not counting those.
Verb pipe.
Unless you need to.
The Who.
Jeepers. Hold on. There must be a band called ZXX.
There you go.
The XS.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Dude, I
There
fell
you go.
into that one.
Yeah.
Young the Giant. And do
nice.
I have to name like another one since you did
No.
Okay. Thank God.
Zebra head.
XX is one word, so.
Oh yeah, I guess that works. Yeah.
Zebra head. All right.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I'm
I'm pretty
Okay.
sure that's a
I
band.
haven't
I've
heard
seen
that
that
in
name.
a- in a
I've seen
long
that
time.
name
I'm
before.
gonna go with Alien Ant Farm.
Oh, man. That's like a
Good.
triple alliterative.
Oh,
Yeah.
damn. So I got to do two now?
2 B's.
The Beastie Boys.
Oh, nice.
Beastie Boys. I would have
That's
gone
good.
with the
So
Banisters.
does the doubles just go on forever
I had
now?
to go
or
with the
is-
double, man.
Are you free?
Well, we finished the alphabet now, so I think it's a good place
Okay.
to stop.
Yeah, that's a
Nice,
good.
we made
that's
it
a
all
good
the way
thing.
through.
Yeah.
Good.
So
Hey.
we'll say the Beastie Boys
We did
and the Banisters, the BanistersMusic.com, and Spotify. Get both EPs. I got to tell you, not to toot your horn too much, but yeah, I like the sound quality on it a lot. I was digging the tunes when I was listening to them, so it's worth a car ride. You can listen to them at the gym
Mm-hmm.
or anywhere Spotify is. You know, at work. All that, but
Spotify.
but
A world of music.
Yeah. Well,
At
thanks
your
for
fingertips.
I know. Thanks for coming on, Chris.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
The 222 at 121 for your number 2 anniversary.
It's a lot of twos.
Yeah, that's how you remember it.
Deuce is wild.
February 22nd, 1 to 1. I'm definitely gonna go to that one. It's a great venue. So we'll check you out there. What about Fair City Fire, guys? I know you're doing recordings. Still, what do you got for the live front
We've
coming up in February?
Got a show at 1 to 1 as well on the 15th.
February.
Nice.
Yeah. With That Girl Dre and Edison Chair. So should be a fun night.
Right.
So
after you eat all your Valentine's Day ice cream, when you're alone, come out on February 15th and enjoy a show.
Mm.
It'll be real nice because you'll still be one, just one. Maybe you'll find another one.
Clint looks concerned.
Clint's concerned. What's Clint? Yeah. Yes.
Nothing. We're good.
Yeah.
Just see when that show is.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Woo! Dig it. Thanks, Chris, for coming on.
Yo.
Check out the Banisters online.
Do it.
Check out Fair City Fire online.
Do it.
Do it. Do
and,
that.
we'll see you at a middle school.
Just
very
do it.
soon.
I'll make love to you like you want me to, and I'll hold you tight all through the night. I'll make love to you if you want me to, and I will.